Hi there. In this video, you're going to learn what you actually get in terms of value for money at a very exclusive and expensive wellness retreat like Ananda here in the Himalayas. And you're also going to learn a little bit about the inside view, what really goes on here, the kind of people that come here, and what I have got out of a stay here at Ananda. Now, Ananda is the oldest wellness retreat in India. It's in the Himalayas, which has a spiritual energy all of its own, and it's been here for 22 years. And I have to say, it was the first or second day that I was here. A beautiful local, when I say local, she's an Indian girl who was staying here for 2 weeks, and she said, "Oh, I've heard you're a journalist, and what treatments have you had today?" And I told her the treatments, and she said, she picked on the Swedish massage which I'd had, and she said, "Was that the best Swedish massage that you've ever had in your life?" And I stopped and thought, that's a really big question. I've only just got here. I'm just processing the whole journey of being at this incredible wellness retreat. And I stopped and I said to her, I honestly haven't processed yet the place, what's going on, where I'm at. It's not something that you do in a day, in one treatment. But now that I have been here over a week, I can say that what you get in terms of value for money and what you're paying for at Ananda are their years, and I would say it's hundreds of years of the teachers, of the doctors, of the health experts that are here, and all of their study and all of the patients that they've seen in their experience, because that really is something almost that money can't buy. I mean, money can buy it because I'm here, but it's something that really marks the difference between one health and wellness retreat and another. I've talked a lot about the Ayurvedic doctor here. There is a yoga program which really harks back to the absolute basis of yoga, and Rishikesh is just down the road, and that's where yoga was actually founded. I mean, just even being here this close to Rishikesh is just phenomenal for anyone who's ever been into yoga, wanted to be into yoga, let alone is a yoga teacher. I mean, Rishikesh is just the epicenter globally of meditation and yoga. It's just phenomenal. And I mean, the Himalayas, there were sages here tens of thousands of years ago writing scriptures and searching for the meaning of life. And that is what I would say is the reason, the predominant reason for coming somewhere like Ananda. Of course, there's tons of people here to lose weight. And do you lose weight? 100%. I came here and said, look, I really don't want to lose any weight. I'm more than happy with my body. I am here to look within and to do some spiritual growth and some psychological growth and some learning about India, which was fine. But even so, I've lost a kilo. And to be honest, I've been eating more than I do back home just because there's a beautiful restaurant and the food is exquisite and the chefs make everything to your taste. So I've even been allowed to have dessert a few times. And I've said to them, I just love some apple pie. I love some tiramisu. They make vegan versions. They make no fat, low fat, no sugar, everything, but with healthy alternatives. I mean, when you've got a chef on hand to do all of that, you do tend to eat. But notwithstanding, I've lost a kilo without any trying. And I would say I'm doing probably less exercise than what I do back home, because anyone who knows, you know, my work and my videos, you know, that I put forward, I work out basically every day in Australia. I go to a fantastic gym called Combine Air, where I do low oxygen training. And I mean, that is the best way to just keep the weight off. They have classes every day, but I try and stick to 5. I like to do 6, but they said 5 is enough. And that's every day at 5 or 6 in the morning. I do infrared saunas back home. I do ice baths back home. I do tons of walking, about 20,000 steps a day, most of the time. In fact, I do that anywhere that I am in the world. So I'm doing nowhere near 20,000 steps here in Ananda, because it's just not that kind of thing. Although, having said that, 3 days ago we climbed a mountain. That was a 4-hour mountain trek that me and the guide did, I think, in about an hour and 20 minutes. We went really fast, which was so much fun, but that was a lot of steps. But aside from that one day, I haven't done nearly as much. So my point is that, yeah, you lose weight without trying. You have a wonderful time. You definitely feel very pampered. There's tons of massages that I haven't really talked about. There's 2-hand massages, which are wonderful. So, and 4-hand massages as well. So 2 girls. I had a fusion massage yesterday, which basically fuses a whole lot of different massage styles. So Thai, reflexology, a whole lot of different things, a scalp massage. I had a separate reflexology session. Probably that was the best reflexology I've ever had anywhere. And I've spent tons of time in Southeast Asia where reflexology is amazing. It's always amazing. And of course, they get the bottom of your foot and they can identify if it hurts on certain points where you have issues in your body. And they said straight away that I had issues, if you pretend that's my foot right there on the outside, which means I had some shoulder issues. My shoulders are sore. And right in there in your foot is where the pancreas is, and I have like pre-diabetes. So therefore it was absolutely 100% accurate, but it wasn't the accuracy of the reading that I was so impressed with. It was just the way my feet felt. They sort of touched the ground differently after that treatment. And I just thought it was just wonderful. Like my feet just felt refreshed, energized, just incredible. And they have beautiful massage rooms. And one of the beautiful touches here at Ananda is they actually do a prayer or a ceremony before every single session in terms of massages, which I just found really beautiful. And when there were two girls, they would actually sing and chant a little chant and bless you before your treatment. I mean, that is just, off the charts. It was really beautiful. And each treatment is 50 minutes. Some are an hour and a half. I've got one after this, it's an hour and a half. I can't wait. But I have to say that most of the time you're having a treatment, it isn't what I would call a dreamy sort of, zone out massage. You're working out here. Like I've been with the physio, I've been with the personal trainer every morning. I've been running on the treadmill. I've been doing weights classes every day. So I've really been working the muscles in my back that really sort of need working. So therefore, when I come to my massage, they're giving me massages that are targeted. All the staff here talk to each other. That's pretty obvious. So they must have a meeting once a day or twice a day where they talk about everyone. They go through and they say, Renee's here. She's got problems with her back, so we need to focus on massaging her shoulders, etc., etc. So that every single compartment that you go to, every single treatment that you have, everyone's speaking to each other and they're addressing your very concerns. And it's the same with the food in the restaurant. They know that I like a black coffee in the morning. They know that I fast and I don't eat until 12, sometimes 1 o'clock. They know I like to break my fast with a green juice that has no fruit in it, it's just vegetables. They know that I don't like carbs. I really don't go for potatoes and a lot of breads and things like that. They know that I love salads, etc., etc. So everything is bespoke and catered. But after like 2 or 3 days, you don't even have to think. They're thinking for you. They're delivering everything you want. And so you just have this really incredible experience. There's also Chinese medicine here. There's Ayurvedic medicine, which I've really kind of got into. I mean, what I find amazing is that in Ayurvedic medicine, they can look at your tongue and tell if you've got inflammation in your body. They can tell you how you're psychologically feeling. One of the great pillars of that sort of medicine is that it combines Western and Eastern. It combines the mind and the body. It brings them both together. So you're not sort of just treating the body like we kind of do in Western medicine. This is very much, how are you feeling? What's going on in your mind? Are you feeling anxious today? Has something happened in your life? Is everybody in your family okay? Now let's talk about your health in relation to the emotional stuff going on. I mean, isn't that just basic common sense? I find it, look, I'm not saying don't, I'm not anti-Western medicine. I'm not saying don't have traditional Western medicine treatments, especially if you're really sick. I absolutely 100% back Western medicine. However, I do have a lot of questions about it. A number of my friends are doctors and surgeons, but why aren't they taught about nutrition? Why isn't it that when I go to the GP, why are they asking about my diet, number one? Because isn't that just the basis of health? In Ayurvedic medicine, it is. Why, when I go to the GP, aren't they asking about my mental state? If I walk in with the flu, how's everything with your family? How are you feeling inside? Are you employed? How are you going at work? What emotional issues do you have? That's what they ask in Ayurvedic medicine. And again, doesn't it just make sense? I mean, generally speaking, if someone has disease, yes, it can be genetic. Yes, it can be caused by smoking, alcohol, bad diet, all sorts of things. But mental health surely underpins so much of our health. In the Western world, I think we need to take a leaf out of the East Book and start talking about our feelings, start talking about emotions, and start talking about how we're living our life and how we're feeling about things in connection and in relation to our health. And that's why I love this place, Ananda, because as I said, the Ayurvedic doctor recognizes the stuff going on up here, the food we're eating and why, then goes to the restaurant and makes sure that everything that you eat during your entire stay fits what you like eating, A, but what's good for your body, B. So you're not sitting here eating stuff that you don't want to eat. And if you're hungry, like the first few days I came, I wasn't eating enough food, and I said to them, I can't sustain on this food, I need more. And so then they just pumped up the volumes and everything, and then I had to say a few days later, let's do half of that. So my point is that they will listen to you. You're not in prison here, they're not forceful at all, but they guide you. They gently guide you how to change your life, how to think about things differently, how to, just how to run your life. And there's this amazing woman that sits on a desk in the middle of the retreat. And if you want to change your schedule, you go to her. You say, look, is it possible? I'd like half an hour off. Is it possible to start this earlier? I'd actually like my personal training at 6 a.m., not 7. That's me. All that sort of thing. This woman is busy the whole day. So everybody is constantly going to her saying, can I change this? Can I change that? Can you tweak that? So again, this is not, one of those places where you have to do what you're told. There's a lot of scope. But I also have to tell you about this incredible way and philosophy that I've discovered here in India. It's Vedanta. Now, I'm sure this is the book there. I actually found this in my room because one of the things they have asked me to try and do is put my phone away at 6 p.m. Quite difficult for me because my entire life, my children are on my phone. Who are my entire life, by the way. My businesses are on my phone. My communication with the rest of the world is on my phone. My heart rate monitor is on my phone. Like everybody, everything is on the phone. So the idea of stopping the phone at 6 o'clock is quite challenging for me, yet not easy. It's okay at the moment because my children are in bed by that time because of the time difference with India and Australia. But generally speaking, even so, I even like looking through my photos. I like editing videos at night. They said I've got to stop it, at least for a while, at least try and do something different. And guess what happened? The first night I put my phone down at 6 o'clock. I was in my room by about 7:30, had an early dinner, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Yeah, there's a TV there, and I found this book. So it's really interesting that, if you do what you're told, if you take the advice that's given to you, really incredible things can happen. So look, I'm Christian, but this Vedanta thinking and this book was established by sages. They're not even sure how many thousand years ago. There's arguments that say it's 2,500 years ago, 5,000 years ago. It doesn't really matter. But it's basically a book about how to live your life. And it's so interesting because if you've watched my previous videos, I've been here now over a week. I've been talking a lot about the importance of forgetting about materialism, putting that to one side and going within as being a philosophy not only of Ananda, but of India. And this book is all about that. I'm going to read you a couple of little things that are just amazing. But it basically says, Vedanta equips you with the knowledge to make the right choice of action. The root cause of suffering is that people do not look within. Now, I've been saying this without having read this book, anything. That message actually came to me just when I came to India. It was really obvious to me that India is about letting go of materialism. I made a video just a few days ago because someone wrote to me and said, should I spend, she actually said, I would rather spend my money on a luxury handbag than a luxury wellness retreat. What do you think about that? And I answered that in a previous video and basically said, well, health is wealth. And the healthier you are, the more balanced you are, the happier you are, the more chance you have of succeeding in whatever career path you have, and therefore making more money if that's your objective, and buying you more luxury handbags if that's your objective. So, it's interesting that all of this really actually came to me before I even found this book. And it has this great line in here that human beings are unlike any other creature because we have a choice in every moment of our life. And I remember when I was a kid, choose your own adventure books. How good were they? I used to love those. You could say, if you want to cross the bridge, go to page 48. If you want to turn around and go back, go to page 96. And you'd have a totally different adventure and a different read depending on what you chose. But that is actually what our life is as human beings. We are constantly given choices. Do I want to travel there or not? Do I want to have a relationship with that person or not? Do I want to take that contract or not? Do I want to have lunch with this person or that person? You know where I'm coming from. We are constantly given choices. And what this book reminds us is that we're the only creature on earth who has that kind of thinking and who has those levels of choices, which is what makes our life quite complex. And I think it says in there that a tiger, for example, can't be a vegetarian. Good point. Good point. And I think it says a cow also can't eat meat. So, it's just one very small example, of nutrition, of all the nutritional choices that we have. We have that array of choices in every single part of our life. And really what I think this is getting at, because I've only read just a little bit of it, is that's what complicates things. Too many choices. And I mean, there's a ton of scientific studies out there showing that human beings operate best with 2 choices, maybe 3 choices at the most. Any more than that, and we get confused, we get overwhelmed, we don't know what to choose. But in everyday life, especially now with access to information, thanks to the internet, thanks to AI, we are now being flooded with so many choices. I mean, even if you think about dating, one of my children put it to me and said that, when you're dating online, it's like watching 4 TVs at once. You've got 4 different storylines going, and you really aren't concentrating on any of them. And therefore, it's no wonder that people take so long to actually find someone to have a relationship with. It's not a great thing for humans to have all of these people to choose from on a dating site. One thing goes wrong, off to the bathroom during a date. Oh, let's have a look. Who else is online next? That's what people are doing. Many, many people have told me that that's what they do. And that's just one example of the way things are going way too far at this moment in time. And that's why we feel so overwhelmed, whether it's our food choices, and often we're putting on weight because we're making the wrong choices because we don't know what to choose. Whether it's stress, because we don't know where to put our energy. We don't know when to calm down. We don't know how to switch off. We don't know when to switch off. We don't know what exercise to do for our body. We don't know how to fit exercise into our routine. We don't know how to manage time because there's so much going on. Just switching off and managing time and getting constructive about things is really hard. So something like this Vedanta, and I stress this is, as it's been explained to me, this is the basis of all religions. Yes, Hinduism, which is really strong. I think is it 60% or something of the Indian population are Hindu. So this does form part of that religion, but this is, as I understand it, not a religious book. So I'm not preaching a religion. As I understand it, I am talking about a way to live your life. I mean, it says in here, science has made a colossal contribution for human welfare. 100% true. It has developed the world to near perfection with press button comforts. Exactly what I was just talking about. Bang, press a button, especially when I lived in Jakarta, and you could get anything delivered in about half an hour, whether it's a cucumber, a sandwich, a 5-course meal, a bottle of vodka, whatever it is, you can get it delivered. But nevertheless, people are not as happy as they should be. Now, isn't that a statement of our time? In this book here, that is just generations old, in a perfected world, there seems to be only worry and anxiety, suffering and sorrow everywhere. I mean, what is going on in the Middle East is devastating to all of us. There are so many children and women being killed and in pain. What is going on in the Ukraine and Russia is absolutely equally heartbreaking. And again, women, children, young men, it's not good. But even what is going on in places where there isn't war. I was talking to a philosopher here today. They have philosophers, by the way, in-house. You can go and have a group session. You can go and have a one-on-one session to talk about all of these things that I'm talking about here. But we were talking about the level of escapism that's going on in many big cities in the world, whether it's London, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sydney. It doesn't matter where it is, it's all going on. People are taking antidepressants in higher numbers than ever before. People are obese. People are taking cocaine. Cocaine is so normalized in places like Sydney, in places like London. It's almost impossible to walk into a bar without people taking it. Really, this is what's going on. Alcohol is equally, it's become normalized for people to go out every night of the week and drink, to drink at home every night, drink a bottle of wine a night per person. When you have a party, in the Western world, you cater for at least a bottle of wine per person. All of this, when it goes on and becomes a part of life, is really, on the whole, human beings pushing down their emotions, pushing down their pain, pushing down their fear, because they're afraid of what the future holds, of where they're at in their life, and they're not really addressing what's going on. So look, I'm about to sort of read this book, about eternal bliss, how to create, find happiness, how to create balance in your life, how to look within. I'm just really excited about it. And what I'm excited about is that this takes the focus off materialism and onto health, inner wealth, and psychological well-being, which, I'm really, really into right now. So unfortunately, I leave Ananda in just a few days. I'm actually really sad because I feel I needed at least 2 weeks here, because I feel I've started on a journey and I'm just kind of climaxing, if you like, and I just want to keep going. So I'm going to have to take this book and do a lot of work at home. I will 100% be back. And actually, I was talking to the Philosopher today, who was talking about Christmas and New Year. And he was saying it's a really great time for people to come, again, especially from the Western part of the world, and sit here in the peace and the harmony and the energy of the Himalayas behind me. Oh, wow. It's palpable, and it's really hard to describe how serene it is, how powerful it is. This is a place where you really can, achieve transformation. And everybody's looking for transformation. New Year's, right? New Year's resolutions. And January, everyone wants to lose weight, get better, change jobs, change relationships, find love, have better, be a better father, be a better mother, all of those things. So they were saying that it would be a really good idea for me to come back during that period and really, sit with the energy that presents then. And they said the whole place is full. They do have, lots of shared tables, lots of celebratory tables. And India was a little bit behind in the COVID scene. So basically, this will be the first year that they're really celebrating and expect to be at full occupancy during that time since the big changes that we've had in the world. So yeah, I might even come back then. But I really encourage you, to come to a wellness retreat somewhere in the world. All of the things that I'm describing are not isolated to Ananda, and to be frank, they're not isolated to India. Although India does have a special magic and a special energy of its own, and the Himalayas is just next level in terms of energy. But there's lots of beautiful wellness retreats. There's Ayurvedic retreats all over the world. There's Ayurvedic specialists and doctors all over the world. Just check their credentials, see where they've studied, see how long they've studied for, see how long they've been working for. And physiotherapy, which is a huge component of the work that you do here, is obviously big in the Western world. Chinese medicine, huge all over Asia, and it is in the Western world too. I know it's massive in America. So, you can seek out a lot of these practitioners yourself, take your time, go through the steps, and really get inside yourself. Start working within and saying, what do I want for the rest of my life? Who am I? What am I giving to the people around me? What am I giving to the world? How am I serving? And the biggest takeaway from a wellness retreat like this is do unto others as you want done to you. I know it's really kind of biblical and everyone's heard it 1,000 times, but sit with that. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat people with respect, you'll get respect. Treat yourself with love and respect. On that note, I'm going off to read this and enjoy my last few days at Ananda. Namaste.